Judges for the contest, 48-46, 48-46, and 47-47 for the winner by majority decision, and
And still, ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed African fighting podcast champion of the world. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. This is your One Championship news show. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I have with me our reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world. 85% on One Championship picks, ladies and gentlemen. It is, of course, Brother Gaia.
The one and only. What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, BG? Welcome back, bro. This is our One Championship news segment, bro. So we've got quite a bit to get into here, including the breaking news that Shadow has stepped in for Tawanchai due to an unknown injury. Yeah, and this really leaving One Championship fans absolutely shocked. As to wondering what is going on with Tawanchai. So BG, how about some thoughts here, bro?
Initial reaction when I first saw the announcement, I first was like, yeah, that's actually fair is fair. You know, that's the right fight to make. And then I went into thinking, oh, what happened to Tawanchai? Because he was like, he did an interview not too long ago, and he was geared up for this fight. He was geared up for the to go get his kickboxing title back. But then he fell injured, and Shadow is the correct replacement in my opinion, just because he's number 3, right? He's number 2. You got the champion, and then you got Superbon, and then you got Shadow. Shadow just took out Ampara, who I thought was next in line if he had to beat Shadow, and Shadow beat him in the second round. So I was like, great fight to make. The only thing I don't like about the matchup is it means nothing for Shadow. It means nothing for him because he's already secured his shot against Tawanchai, right? So this fight is almost like if he gets this fight done, then he's for sure going to fight against Tawanchai. But it's like you already know that. He just took out the best guy before, other than Superbon. He took out the rightful guy to beat to get to the title. So yeah, I just think, and Superbon's tied up into a title shot against Noiri. So I just think that for Shadow, why I'm a bit uncomfortable for the matchup is it's almost like we're going to give you the ticket if you win this fight, but it's also a fight that it's not in your discipline. It's not in Muay Thai. It's in kickboxing, which doesn't favor Shadow. It's not where he does his best work. Not that he's still going to fight the fight, and he's probably going to do a very good job in the fight. But I mean, we know that Shadow is a lot more devastating when it comes to the 4-ounce gloves and when he gets to use elbows and clinch work and knees. And that's where he's just a superstar, dude. That's where he rocks, right? And Liu, this is his world. Kickboxing is his domain. This is where he loves to fight. We don't see Liu Mengyang fighting in 4-ounce Muay Thai discipline. So, yeah, Shadow is kind of at a disadvantage considering that Liu is actually a very good challenger. I mean, people forget that he beat Noiri, Iri's debut fight. I still don't rate Liu as elite, but I mean, he's still a top-tier kickboxer in my opinion. So, I just think that it's going to be a tough showing for Shadow, considering he's fighting against someone that was getting up to fight against the champion. So let's see how it plays out. I mean, again, I now sound like a stuck record, but it is the correct fighter to pick, right? Because who else was Liu going to fight? In my opinion, if not Shadow, the fight they should have made, if it's going to stay in kickboxing, give him Mohamed Younes Rabah instead. Let Shadow wait it out. Let the Shadow fight Nico Carrillo in a division where it makes sense for his career. You know what I mean? If you really want to give him Tawanchai, either make him wait. If he wants to fight, give him Nico Carrillo until Tawanchai comes back. But fighting Liu Mengyang doesn't do anything for his placement in the Muay Thai division. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Mohamed Younes Rabah is ranked in both Muay Thai and kickboxing. And he beat Kaito Uno as well. He beat Sitachai. He's beaten the best guys. He's taken out champions that's coming into the organization. So I would say I would have gone Mohamed Younes Rabah against Liu Mengyang in kickboxing featherweight. That would have been the better fight in terms of progressing that division.
100% agree there, brother Gaia. We've been saying for a minute now, You gotta start putting some respect on Muhammad Sirani's name.
Please.
But let us know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Mohamed Younes Rabah has been quite vocal on Instagram. Shadow, you know it's not finished between us. Let's run it back. The fans deserve the truth. Their first fight, of course, ending with the unfortunate eye poke, which seems not too long ago, actually, maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah, can't remember
Yeah,
now.
if memory serves, my timeline is not the best. But anyway, BG, what do you make of Mohamed Younes Rabah's words in the media here?
I mean, again, it's another fight that I would love to see, especially because it's open ended. There was nothing that stipulated that either guy was better than each other in that fight because it ended so quickly with an eye poke. When I mean, Shadow was claiming it wasn't, but after watching that replay so many times, kind of was, but not on purpose, obviously, right? And again, this would have been a good fight to give Shadow in the interim that he doesn't get Tawanchai, because who's to say that you have to give him Tawanchai right now? He's 25 years old. Tawanchai wants to fight Muay. That's the guy he really wants to go up against. That's the guy who beat him in how many years now? 4 or 5 years since she lost the fight, or since he lost the fight. Excuse me. So that was the guy who beat him. Was Muay. I can understand why he wants to go that way, and then by the virtue of doing that, that would mean Shadow would have to wait. But then if he doesn't want to wait, I think Mohamed Rabah would have been a good test for Shadow. I think Shadow still would have beaten him, but it would have been a very good test for him. And Mohamed Rabah is ranked top 10. So the way their fight ended, I think all the fans would love to see the fight happen again. I think you can also agree with me, Adi, that would be a fight we would love to watch again. More so than Shadow versus Liu Mengyang in kickboxing. I would love to watch Shadow versus Mohamed Rabah in 4 ounces. I think that would be a more dangerous fight to watch. But yeah, I'm in agreement, and they probably will meet each other again. I think Muhammad, if he's healed up and he gets back into training, he's probably gonna have to fight against someone else first. Probably gonna get maybe Bampara or Luke Lissay or someone else like that before he can throw down with Shadow again. Because now Shadow is obviously on to bigger, better things at this point. So you know,
Hmm.
Muhammad Rabah's gonna probably have to do another fight, someone else, another top 5 loser. Put it that way.
Yeah, yeah. Drop us those thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Please drop a like on the video. Really helps us out so much. And if you haven't done so yet, why don't you subscribe to the channel for more combat sports content? BG One Fight Night 36 is coming up October 4th, October 3rd, if you're in the US, I believe. Absolutely stacked card shaping up here, bro. Tell the people a little bit about which fights you are most excited for you, if you can. I mean, obviously, we're going to do a more in-depth breakdown closer to the time. We've also got some other interesting content coming regarding those fight cards. So keep a lookout for that. Subscribe. But yeah, BG, give us your thoughts on the ones you're most excited for here, bro.
Yeah, it's super hyped. Basically, from the championship fight all the way down to Fabricio, Andre, and Eduardo Granzotto. Because I saw Fabricio fight, pretty good grappler, pretty strong, powerful dude. But that's all really that comes to it. I'm not too stoked to see Ang Lang and Sang fighting again. He's fighting against Sebastian Kadestam, who's a very good fighter, powerful dude. But I mean, I know it's weird to say that when I've been asking for more activity with the higher weight classes, like the heavier dudes. Can we see more activity there? And Ang Lang and Sang was one of those guys that was world champion and competed so many times, so frequent. But let's be real, he's and Sebastian Kadestam, both of them are at that position in their careers now where you're not necessarily getting up early to want to tune into that, right? They're not really at the peak of their powers where they once were. So yeah, but still fun to see a legend fight, right? It obviously bring the crowd in there. So it's good to see the two legends throw down. So super hyped for that. Really excited to see Sanzo Zakirov back. Not too familiar with his opponent, if I'm being honest. But Sanzo Zakirov is a top talent for that flyweight MMA. Let's see what happens here. I think he can be a very good test for Yuya Wakamatsu. Maybe take the title from him. So hopefully Sanzo Zakirov does that because he's now obviously left the strawweight division now, and I think it's a very good choice that he made. And he's a very cocky kid, but he's got a lot of talent. So let's see how far he can go. Hopefully, he gets the job done. And he can make a call out for top 5 contender. Jared Brooks is back after taking a loss to Joshua Pacquiao, the former strawweight MMA champion, fun fighter, very powerful wrestler, very all-American, badass. Taking on the right contender in Mansour Malachiev, who beat Bukang Masonyani in his last fight, which we kind of both argued was like, oh, it was actually a close fight. I mean, Bukang lost, but it was a very close fight regardless. But it kind of tells you what that top 5 looks like when it comes to that strawweight MMA division. So that's going to be a fun one. Tactically a title fight, even though even though the Joshua Pacquiao is the champion, but it just kind of tells you the caliber of opponents there. So expect a very good MMA fight in that one. Zhao Suyai and Akif Kulazada. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? I think that's just more hype for the talent of Akif Kulazada, but I think Zhao Suyai is going to beat him. Early prediction. I also think that it's a big Tao Trisitadong privilege for Akif Kulazada because he's not, in my opinion, he's not top 5 caliber. He's just outside of the top 10. I see on the unofficial rankings by Tetsuya, he puts him in number 9. But remember, Tetsuya does make a disclaimer that he's basing these rankings based on fight styles, not necessarily based on records and careers. It's more of like if you take the blueprints of their styles on paper, whose style is better. That's what he's basing it on. He even said that on one of his posts. So based on that, I don't think Akif Kulazada is in the top 10. He's got a great style, right? But at 19 years old, and if you watch Akif's last fight, yes, he won that fight, but he didn't look that good round 2 and 3. He was getting backed up. He was looking tired. He was looking like he had no more answers. But he did so much damage in the first round that, and he fought at the Sean Klamakau. So Klamakau is been taking beatings as well. Now he's fighting against Zhao Suyai, who is like this close to a title contention, right? I don't know. I think this might be a bit too high of a jump for Akif. I would have given Akif maybe one of the Stupinan boys or like a flyweight contender that's just outside the top 5, but not someone that's in the top 5. You know what I mean? I think that was a bit of a push. But listen, I'm saying this now, but on the night, Akif can go out there and school him because Akif is one of the wonder kids, right? He's coached by the former featherweight kickboxing champion Shingiz Alazov, who beat basically everybody and defeated in the organization before he left. So that's a fun fight. I can't wait for that one. And then Kongchai, one of my favorites. Basically, the flyweight lift meteorite taking on Aslamjan Atikov. Stylistically, nightmare for Kongchai. Absolute nightmare. But if there's anyone that can put Aslamjan in trouble, it is Kongchai. So let's see how it goes. That's gonna be a fun fight. That looks like from the eye here we see in Russia versus Thailand. Fun times ahead. And then obviously main event we had the rematch between arguably the best strawweight boxers or strikers you will ever see. It is Prajanchai taking on Jonathan Dibel. This is gonna be a fun fight. Obviously, if you know how the first fight went, it was super close. Obviously, it divided the fan base. A lot of people had JDB winning, a lot of people had Prajanchai winning. Yeah, I'm all in for it. I can't wait. And yeah, like I said, I'm just having not necessarily sleepless nights, but a day doesn't go by where I don't think about this fight. Let's put it that
way. Give thanks, brother Gaia. And yeah, big things ahead here for One Fight Night 36. Let us know in the comments which fight you are most excited for. Well, we're going to pivot now to 1173, where it's been announced no less than 17 fights to be had on this card, bro. So absolutely monumental stuff here by One Championship and the man, Uncle Chatri Sitjidong. What are your thoughts on having such a stat card, especially considering that we're going to have to live stream the whole thing, bro?
I think the time might just favor us. I think it might be a favorable time for us because it's in Japan, so I don't think we should trip. But
it's gonna be a Sunday morning, like decent time on a Sunday morning, yeah.
Yeah, like the 172 card was. Yeah, just what can they do better, bro? The card is already monstrous in terms of who's on it, right? In terms of all the matchups. But I think they only have, if I'm not mistaken, they only have 3 title fights on the fight card as so far of the 10 fights, there's only 3 title fights. And the last 172 card in Japan had 5 title fights on it. So I think they want to obviously increase that number and try and get more title fights on the card. Which I think, pardon me, I think looking at the website right now, I haven't included the Jonathan Agadi and Nabila Nan fight, which is another title fight. So that'll make it 4 title fights. So they're going to need another one, obviously. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Glory Kickboxing sometimes does a Grand Prix. Then they also have about 17 to 20 bouts. But this is monumental for one championship and for just combat sports because it's 17 bouts. But it's not only kickboxing. There's Muay Thai fights, there's MMA fights, there's Jiu-Jitsu fights on the fight card. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good card. Hopefully that they don't get a what do you call it? That shambles where they have to basically refund everybody for their tickets. Hopefully this time everything is fine and nothing goes wrong and we can successfully get 17 bouts. I mean, you asked the question about how you feel about the stream, but the Friday fights cards are 12 fights. You know what I mean? So 5 fights more.
5 fights plus ads, bro.
Yeah. Again, I think we can count our lucky stars that it's going to be at a good time for us. So we don't have to get up at 3 a.m. to watch it. We can get up at a decent time. Might even have breakfast first before we get into the live
What
stream.
a privilege. What an absolute privilege that would be.
But yeah, big moves from Chowdhury and One Championship to do something like this. They really are trying to. What it reads to me is that they really are trying to capture that Japanese market big time. Pokemon the jewel.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned the Nabil Agati fight, which is currently on screen, but something that was more recently announced was you versus Naito. So yeah, Japanese versus Japanese, which is a bit surprising to see, but of course, these guys are going to bring the eyeballs necessary in Japan. So yeah, give us your thought. Maybe early prediction. Maybe early prediction for both of these, BG. How about that?
I was just gonna ask you now. I see someone in the comments is saying, "Geez, are they gonna have 100 fights on this card?" Looks like it, bro. But yeah, early predictions for the Nabil and Haggerty one. Tough. Because Nabil is such a, I don't want to say anomaly, but he's just something you've never seen. I've never seen someone with this kind of length, but also just equally as deadly with their strikes. If you think about UFC, and I know it's MMA, right? When you think about like the fighters that are super tall and super lengthy, they haven't really been successful. You know what I mean? People catch them out very quickly, but now Bill seems to be a puzzle for a lot of the guys, and even the world champions have saying it's raising their eyebrows, it's catching their intention. Reagan Ursel was not even in his division. Nong O was like, I'm getting out of that division. I don't want to fight that, bruh. Superlik, what's his name? Rodtang was also like, I don't want any of that drama. And these are guys who are world renowned for being like one of the most deadliest strikers on the planet. And they all like Nabil is just no, thank you. And I think it's also because of his of not only his physical attributes, but also that he's young. You know what I mean? He's gonna be even more scary than what he's like right now. What, 3 years from now? Imagine when he's like 23, 24 years old, what he's gonna look like. Amazing.
Insane.
But yeah, so I'm gonna early prediction. My mind wants to go with Nabil, right? But logically, like when the last few times when I've gone against Agadi, he showed up. You know what I mean? He showed up, and I was like, he's actually gonna lose this fight. He showed up, which is big for me, because that was the fight against Demon Blade. And prior to that fight against Demon Blade, I'd never really went against Agadi. Even when he fought against Superlik, I was like, I think he's gonna get Superlik. Superlik takes him out. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, he's gonna lose to Demon Blade. He beats Demon Blade, and just reminds everybody why he's such a elite striker. My point I'm trying to make is here, I'm gonna say Nabil, but I'm also not gonna be surprised if Agadi gets him, because Agadi is amongst that one championship royalty, right? And then in terms of the Yu and Taiki Naito fight, Taiki Naito is also Japanese royalty as well. He's been there on the circuit for how many years now, right? Competing against the best guys, champions, non-champions, prospects. He's fought against the best dudes in and outside of one championship. And I think it's actually a good test for you to see where he's at because Naito is very crafty. Doesn't have the most knockout power, but I mean, over 3 rounds, over 5 rounds, this man is crafty. He's got good game plans. He knows how to maximize points in a fight. One of the best at doing that. So, and also Naito called out Takeru. So I don't think he even minds going Japan against Japan because he's done it so many times in his career. And for the Japanese fans, you're just gonna have to eat this one, guys. Unfortunately, because I don't really know of any other matchups. Because if we think about flyweight kickboxing division, the division is tied up. You know what I mean? The top five is kind of tied up. So I think this fight is to solidify who's going to be the. Because I don't think Takeru is gonna fight for a title. You know what I mean? Naito is number 4 right now. Tajir Kalilov was supposed to fight against you. So I think if you wins this fight, he gets number 4. Naito goes down to number 5. And then it kind of solidifies who of the Japanese guys is going to be the one to take on the Thai guys. Because Takeru is not going to be the one. Takeru wins Dennis Puric. He fights Rodtang, win or lose, retires. And then who's the next Japanese star for the flyweight kickboxing? It's going to have to be one of these two. I think it's probably going to be you.
Me?
You, yeah.
Me?
Yeah, that's you.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments there, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of humor for you on a Tuesday evening. We're gonna pivot one more time now. We're gonna go to one Friday fights 125, where we see the return of Kongchai as he comes up against Walter Goncalves. Brother Gaia, I know you are an avid Kongchai fan.
Yeah, Tiggy's buzz.
Let us know your thoughts here, bro.
Yeah, look, Kongchai was pretty much on his way for a contract, right? I mean, the last fight he had was against Compet. He beat Chokricha before that. I've watched him with Chat Payak, Ramadan, and Dash Chokricha twice. Basically, just like beating everybody up until he got those 3 fighters, and he took his L's. But still very young, right? Only 22 years old, but he's definitely becoming one of the favorites at the Friday Fights cards, just because of how frequent he fights, bro. I mean, if I look at the dude's record, right? If you think about it this way, let's go 2025. He's fought 4 times, and we just passed halfway. Almost going into 3 quarters of the year. One, two, three, 4 fights in 2025. That's mad. And then don't even talk about 2024. He also had 5 fights there. 2023, another 5 fights. So the dude's been active, and this is all Friday fights cards. So of course he's gonna become a mainstay or a fan favorite because of how frequent we get to see the name more frequently. And also he's just a very good style. And if you think about how he fights over the 3 rounds, in my opinion, since 2023 up until now, he's leveled up, dude. He's leveled up. And I think he's gonna get Goncalves out today, to be honest with you. I really do think he's going to get him out of there. Because Goncalves, also relatively young, good boxing, strong boxing, but he doesn't have the full array of weapons. 27 years old, sorry. He fought against Javier Gonzalez and he lost to Javier Gonzalez, who's also a top talent. But I think Kongchai walks through Javier Gonzalez pretty easily, by the way. Right? Um, I'm gonna give Kongchai just because he's also, in my opinion, he's slightly the bigger fighter, heavier as well. Walter Goncalves used to fight in the strawweight. Oh no, sorry, this is a strawweight fight. But Kongchai is a big strawweight. He's quite a big dude, and I think he's gonna utilize the bigger arsenal of weapons that he has. And I don't know how Goncalves is gonna deal with that left body kick of Kongchai's. It's a different kind of weapon, and a lot of fighters don't deal with it very well. And I just think Goncalves is going to be another victim to that left body kick.
Let's go. Looking forward to the return of Kongchai. Let us know if we got any Kongchai fans in the Fighting with Friends subscriber base. And those of you who are not subscribed, of course, please subscribe. But we're going to go to some serious business now, PG.
Mm.
you. All right, those OGs yet fighting with friends will know that is not the official serious business soundtrack. We did have some copyright issues, but we are on Rodtang watch. Rodtang's been playing a little bit of football, so we're just gonna have a quick look at what he's been up to. Yeah,
How's his
so
number, man?
777. Insane. So yeah, just gonna show you guys what's been going on. That is Rodtang in the blue.
Yeah.
Check out that big guy. Like, what's he gonna do, bruh?
No, Rodtang will freak him.
Whole team. So Rodtang's been playing a bit of football. This is another clip that we found. This looking like a more legit game,
Yeah.
but I mean it's online versus gamers, so I think it can't be that legit. But anyway, this is Rodtang here on the right wing, and let's just have a look at what he does in the football arena here.
Rodtang.
The right tang, turning up the gas there. Cross maybe got to work on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this for a finish.
Left hang.
Absolutely pristine. I think
Nah,
Zlatan Ibrahimovic would even be proud of that one.
Yeah, of course. Yo, look.
And yeah, a little bit of other stuff is that Rodtang is also possibly going to train with Mark Zuckerberg. They exchanged the DMs, as you can see here. And Mark Zuckerberg saying if Rodtang is in California, that they should meet up to train together. So good to see Rodtang, almost transcending the sport a little bit here and making it to different avenues, especially, being recognized by Mark Zuckerberg as a one championship Muay Thai fight. I think it's a big deal. So shout out to Rodtang, just a fantastic example of what you can achieve as a Muay Thai professional. PG, give us your thoughts here on how he's branching out and Rodtang's future in general, maybe.
No, it's absolutely amazing. I think that's a very good point that you mentioned about how he's transcending the sport because now he's getting recognized from the from the US media or the US fan base, right? And look what it is as Mark Zuckerberg. And if anyone knows, like Mark Zuckerberg has been quite a key factor to the growth of the UFC over the last, let's say, 5 years, 10 years. He's been there just showing up to the events has really helped the brand. And I think it can do the same thing for one championship. And if Chowdhury checks this out, I can use this opportunity as an exploitation opportunity, and be like, yo, this is one of our biggest superstars. Why don't we do a Facebook sponsored Grand Prix? You know what I mean? And we just pump the yellow cash into it to basically increase the not that the flyweight needs more fighters, but I mean I think one championship in terms of the heavyweights need more fighters, right? So they could use that to run like a Facebook Grand Prix for middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight Muay Thai, kickboxing. Bring more guys into the sport, and so we can have, like you say, like you can have your dream and watch heavyweight Muay Thai more often. But yeah, I do think that if before you mentioned that now about Rodtang transcending the sport, my initial response to this was like, okay, like, cool, Mark, cool for you, bro. But yeah, I think it means more based on what you just said. Now, I think that those are opportunities that we should be talking about here, because let's face it, one championship does need audiences outside of Asia.
100%, 100%. Yeah. So shout out to Rodtang, and just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to always chase your dreams. Nothing is impossible. Let's go. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far, I believe that is our final story for the day. So if you have made it this far, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We got new content coming, so you can watch the podcast
every day. Joe Rogan.
Joe.
I watch your podcast every day.
Let's go. So just to get you guys back on what to expect from our channel. This is now obviously the new show, but stay tuned for the preview of UFC Noche, which will take place tomorrow, as well as a light preview of Canelo versus Crawford. That's a massive boxing fight. So we'll just give a young preview of that one as well. And then stay tuned for the usual slots for the on Thursday for the Friday fights 1 to 4 preview. And then obviously the live watch along of the same fight card on Friday at 2:30 South African time on YouTube. We will catch you there. So from myself and the Fight with a Friend teams, we will catch you the next one. Have a good week. Cheers. Thank you.